All right, peace, y'all. Episode 195. Let me see what YouTube looking like before I start the show. I know I'm late. I was watching a fight too. Moses Atama, he won his fight. Moses Atama won his fight. Let me see who we're getting. More than likely, who's gonna pop in first is Precisely. Let me see if I'm right or wrong. Let me see if I'm right or I'm wrong. I'm gonna give this. Wait till we get to the 3-minute mark, and then I will start the show. Give me a second, and I'll be right back. I'm trying to wait for the 3-minute mark. All right. Let me see. Nobody still didn't pop in. I'm gonna do some quick reading because I'm doing something. Let me see. All right. Let me see. The you care too much narrative is getting old. There's a growing conversation in the boxing video game community that people like me are the problem. That we are too loud, too passionate, too critical, too invested, that we take this too seriously, that we want too much, that we are too old, that we should step back and quiet down and flat out be ignored. Let's really unpack that because what is actually being said is not about toxic. It's about discomfort because people feel discomfort from me being passionate, that me understanding boxing, that a person like me can actually train somebody to be great, but they can't. Somebody like me can actually train somebody. So when y'all try to attack my character, y'all need to step back. It's like y'all find a way to attack somebody because y'all feel threatened by them. And my thing is, when in this community, I try to bring us all together. I try to bring us all together. I'm not going to accept something, but my thing is, we all should be able to coexist. I want us all to coexist. We all be able to get something. I'm not greedy, but a lot of y'all are greedy. The thing is, it seems like y'all come into something y'all don't know and y'all try to take over it. Y'all try to come into something y'all don't really know that much about and y'all try to take over it. And you try to shut up the person that knows more about it. Y'all say, Poe, you don't know this, you don't know that. I know boxing. I've been gaming for over 40 years and not every day. But when y'all, this is the thing that also it don't bother me, but let me get something straight. That, of course, somebody say they've been gaming for 40 years. Don't mean they've been gaming every single day, all night. Stop. Y'all think is y'all try to say things to make somebody be quiet. You know what somebody mean when they say they've been doing something for 40 years. It's in that time span. Could have been every other day, 1 or 2 hours a day, any of that. So stop with the nonsense. When passion gets misread as toxicity, this is a difference. I mean, there is a difference between being toxic and being invested. There is a difference between being toxic and being invested. Toxicity tears things down without purpose. Toxicity tears things down without purpose. Passion pushes things forward with intent. Passion pushes things forward with intent. When someone spends years studying boxing, gaming, mechanics, systems, and history, and then speak up about what is missing or broken, that is not toxicity. That is expertise mixed with care. That is expertise mixed with care. What some people call too much is actually just standards. What some people call too much is actually standards. The truth is simple. When expectations are low, everything feels acceptable. When expectations are high, flaws become visible. And instead of addressing those flaws, it becomes easier for someone to label the person pointing them out as the problem. You're too old is not the argument people think it is. This one is always strange. Since when did expertise become a negative in gaming? The people who have played for decades, seen multiple generations of sports games evolve, watch systems improve, regress, and get repackaged. Actually understand the difference between arcade and simulation. Those are the people you want speaking up, not silencing, because they have context. They know what has already been done. They know what is possible. They know when they are being sold something dressed up as innovation. Calling someone too old is usually just a way of saying, I don't want to hear something that challenges what I'm comfortable with. Calling someone too old is usually the way of saying, I don't want to hear something that challenges what I'm comfortable with. Give me a second. First, let me see if anybody pop in on the chat. Shout out to Legendary Boxing 2026. Salute. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right. You want too much is in an era where everything is possible. You want too much in an era where everything is possible. This might be the most frustrating one. We are in a time where sports games have decades of design history. When I say design history, that means we could go back and look on sports games that did things right. We got things like we got hundreds of games. And I know that's hard to believe. We have hundreds of games that did things that you could look, each company could look at and get right. There's no reason that Steel City shouldn't have a referee in the ring. No reason at all. I don't care if it's their first game or not. There's no reason we shouldn't have clinching in the game. Too many games had clinching in it, grappling in it, in some fight, in some form. All right. Engines can handle complex physics and AI. Engines can handle complex physics and AI. Studios have access to motion capture, data systems. This is key. So y'all got to do your research. I do my research. So when y'all start saying, Paul, you're just talking, you don't know what you're talking about. Do your research. Stop telling me what I know. I'm not a young kid. So stop telling me what I know. I do my research. Engines can handle complex physics and AI. Studios have access to motion capture, data systems, and global talent. Other sports titles have already built deep ecosystems, modes, and presentation layers. So how it's asking for realistic mechanics, authentic AI behavior, deep offline modes, and proper representation of the sport considered too much. It's not too much. It's not too much. I'm going to say that again. It's not too much. We're not asking for enough. But y'all get upset with me or get scared that somebody's going to scare scare the developers. Y'all not asking for enough. Y'all not asking for the right things. Y'all not asking for the right things. If it is baseline expectation based on what's already exists around the industry, what has actually happened is that people have been conditioned to accept less. People have been conditioned to accept less. They'll get mad at you for wanting more. I call it that slave mentality. Don't ask for nothing extra. Don't ask for nothing extra because you might get them mad. Don't ask for nothing extra because you might get them mad. You take this too seriously. Of course I do. This is boxing. This is a sport with history, culture, nuance, and identity. It's not just button inputs and animation. It is strategy, rhythm, timing, positioning, and psychology, and survival. And when a video game presents that sport, it should respect it. And when a video game represents that sport, it should be respected. If someone dedicates time to making sure boxing is represented correctly, why is that seen as a flaw? If someone dedicates time to making sure boxing is represented correctly, why is that seen as a flaw? Nobody say film critics take movies too seriously. Car enthusiasts take simulation car racing too seriously. Basketball fans take NBA games too seriously. But somehow when it comes to boxing games, caring deeply becomes a problem. That does not add up. It doesn't make sense to me. The silencing attempt. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Oh, y'all came in here. Y'all start piling up fast. What's up? I'm Precisely. I gave you a shout out earlier. What's up, Leafy? Leafy be fighting. Yeah, I saw that. They was looking for an AI guy, so I guess they finally got him. Because I've been sharing that that post in my LinkedIn. I got a lot of people on my LinkedIn, and I made sure that they saw it. So hopefully one of the guys in my LinkedIn saw it. Then they try to, hey, let's look at what Poe got. Let me see. SCI should be hiring some boxing historians. This is what Leafy's saying. SCI should be hiring some boxing historians to work with them on the authenticity aspect alongside boxers who care about the game. Exactly. Salute to Boxing Lounge. Boxing_lounge. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be here every day. I'm Precisely came in yesterday and left back out. I still appreciate you. I'm Precisely, you're very supportive. All of y'all are. Legendary Boxing 2026 said, facts, Poe. People really have been conditioned. They really have, and it's shameful. Now they're looking for a character physics programmer. Yeah, I saw that. But I ain't gonna believe nothing until I see something. They're not getting me. They're not making me fall for it. I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm not gonna fall for the. I don't know if y'all seen that. What's that? Beverly Hills Cops. The banana in the tailpipe. I'm not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. All right. The silencing attempt. Let's call it what it is. When people say stop complaining, just enjoy the game, it's not that deep, you're doing too much. What they are really saying is lower your standards so I don't have to be questioned, so I don't have to question mine. Because strong voices force conversation. Because strong voices force conversations. And conversations lead to accountability. And accountability make people uncomfortable. Silencing those voices does not improve the game. It protects the current state of it. And that's the thing. I'm trying to make conversations. I'm trying to make us have conversations. I want accountability, Steel City to have accountability. I want them to do the right thing. I want this game to succeed. I want anybody that makes a boxing game to succeed. I'm not trying to be nobody's enemy. But I'm not going to support a game I don't like or that don't really represents boxing. I'm not going to do it. And my thing is, we got to support each other. Nobody really supports. I appreciate y'all. Y'all support me, but nobody really supports what I'm trying to do. Nobody really supports what I'm trying to do. They try to find a way to talk against it, to silence me. You're not going to silence me. I'm not talking about y'all, but the people that's trying to silence me, you're not going to silence me. The thing is, I'm ramping it up. I'm going to start ramping it up more. I'm going to ramp it up. Wait till I start being on Twitch. Wait till I start being on TikTok more. Once I get 1,000 people on my YouTube, that's when I'm starting to switch over. But right now, y'all got me right here, so I'm going to start like ramping it up. I'm going to be doing live on every social media. I'm going to keep it, I'm going to be passionate about it. Just because your passion does not match my passion, that's your problem. But I'm going to keep it going. I want the best product available, the best product we can get, and I'm going to keep pushing for it. I'm going to keep pushing for it. I got 1 billion ideas. And I'm going to make sure that at least 100 million of them get in the game. I'm just bent over the top, but I'm going to make sure I get a game that represents boxing. I'm going to make sure that there's a game that represents boxing. And y'all got to stop telling people what is fun. Yeah, to a casual fan, that over-the-top, fun, fast-paced, and all that, that is fun. And then when y'all say real boxing is too slow, no, it's not. It's up to you. When you're fighting someone, even in the ring, if I'm boxing somebody, it should be on me about the pace of my fight. I should be able to dictate how fast we fight and how slow we fight, or my opponent. So stop y'all try to pinpoint what is fun and what is realism and what isn't realism. A casual fan cannot pinpoint what is realism. Realism is not slow pace. Realism is different paces that you use or what you do. That is realistic. Stop saying realism is slow and stop saying casual or arcade is fast. That is false. Let me see what y'all saying in here. Boxing Lounge said, I have the best boxing game, laughing out loud. Japanese version of Fight Night Round 4, smoother gameplay, better AI graphics and physics. That EA team put in the last touches and tweaks on that release. Dad, yo, you gotta put up some video, man. Put up some video so I can see it. I think Fight Night Round 3 on PlayStation 2 running at 75 FPS might be as close as I can get for now to the peak Japanese Fight Night Round 3 build on PlayStation 3. Leafy laughing out loud. Yo, Fight Night Round 2 is hard as F, laughing out loud. What? Y'all shout out. Let me see. Fight Night Round 2 is too arcadey for me. Fight Night Round 3 hits that sim feel for me. Yeah, it's very arcadey, not gonna lie. Hold up, precisely. Hold up. You up there, you cheerleading the arcade game? No, I'm messing with you, man. Yeah, but if you walk forward throwing haymakers, your invincibility is Fight Night round 2. Yeah. Yo, I'm precisely. You know I'm banned in the Discord, right? I don't know if y'all know I'm banned it from the Discord. Donnie trying to get me back in, but I don't think he really trying to get me back in because I said I knew once I got banned because he said he's going to talk to everybody against the mod team and let them understand that when I posted, I just posted without really thinking because I was posting my show. I was posting my show for there. Yeah. I was posting my show for this, here. And when I posted the one with me yelling at Ash ear, that got flagged immediately. So he said, wait for a while and then we'll talk about it. I said, man, they ain't not letting me back in there because they wanted me out of there already. Their thing is they wanted the good reason to put me out of there, mistake or not. They don't want me back in there. And that's crazy. They need as many people in there that they can get. Let me see. I got videos up, Poe. See best hits in the title. All right, I'm gonna check you out. Let me see. Not gonna lie, I should definitely be let back into the Discord. I can turn that ship around. That's funny. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm gonna check out your videos on Boxing Lounge. I gotta make that my duty. At the end of the shit, let me see. Channel activity. Go to channel. Now I go to your channel after this. I was about to go to your channel, but I don't want to mess nothing up. I don't want my channel to log off or anything. So I'm gonna check you out after the show. Yeah. All right, let me see. All right, time investment argument. You invest too much time into this. That one always stands out. The people who invest time are the ones writing detailed feedback. That's me. Breaking down mechanics. That's me. Studying gameplay systems. That's me. Engaging with developers and communities. That is me 100%. Try to build something better. That's me. That is not wasted time. That is contribution. That is contribution. If something, if anything, the real issue is that more people are not doing this because the community that pushes their game forward are the ones that care deeply, speak loudly, stay consistent. Not the ones that stay quiet and accept whatever is given. The real divide in the community. This is not really about toxicity. It is about two different mindsets. One, acceptance mindset. Take what is given, adapt to it, defend it, move on. Two, this is the second crowd. Advancement mindset. Question what is missing. Push for better. Demand authenticity. Stay engaged. Both exist in every game community, but only one of them actually drives progress. Which group drives progress? It's the advancement mindset. Calling someone toxic for caring deeply about a boxing video game is one of the easiest ways to avoid a real conversation. But it does not change reality. The reality is boxing deserves proper representation. Fans deserve quality and depth. The technology and knowledge already exists. Progress only happens when people push for it. So, no, this is not about being too old, too loud, too passionate. It is about refusing to accept less when more is clearly possible. And that is not toxicity, that is responsibility. The labeling strategy. When people cannot counter your points, they start labeling you toxic, negative, bitter, old head, doing too much. This is not debate, this is deflection, because it is easy to attack the messenger than it is to engage with what is being said. If someone breaks down why mechanic does not reflect real boxing, why AI behavior lacks authenticity, why most are shallow or missing, why presentation does not capture the sport, and the response is you're toxic, that tells you everything. It means the conversation has shifted away from substance. The fear of raising the standards. The fear of raising the standard. Here's what does not get talked about enough. When one person raises the bar, it forces everyone else to acknowledge how low it was. That creates pressure, not just not just on developers, but on content creators, community voices, even everyday players. Because now there is a comparison. Now there is a question. If this level of detail and expectation is possible, why have we been accepting less? And not everyone wants to sit with that question. So instead of embracing higher standards, some people push back against the person introducing them. They push back on the person introducing them, or the persons that's introducing them. Let me see what y'all saying. Let me see. Leafy said, Fight Night Round 2 is too arcadey for me. Fight Night Round 3 really hits that sim feel for me. Yeah, it's very arcadey, not gonna lie. Boxing Lounge said, yeah, but if you walk forward throwing haymakers, you're invincible in Fight Night Round 2. Leafy said, from the Undisputed Discord. Yeah, I know you told us. Hold up, what y'all talking about? Let me see. Leafy said, I got videos up, Paul. Best. Okay. Wilkins, hold up. Leafy said, Wilkinson pushing back against Ash Habib since 2021. Yeah, man. Yup, you right. You right. Wilkinson pushed back on Ash because he changed his ideas. He changed Ash's ideas. Straight disrespectful. Straight disrespectful. He didn't go along with what Ash had. He changed it. And no matter what people say, and shout out to Beast. Beast said it. Will didn't have nothing to add to the game. He see how great the game looked, and he changed it so he could put his stamp on it. He changed it. But the thing is, I blame the community because nobody pushes back. And they say people like me and Beast, we push too hard. And we're going to push harder. And when you push harder, a turd comes out. Exactly. All right, comfort over progress. A lot of pushback comes from comfort. A lot of pushback comes from comfort. People get used to certain mechanics, certain limitations, certain excuses. They build their expectation around what exists, even if it's flawed. So when someone comes in and says, this can be better, this should be deeper, this is not authentic, it disrupts that comfort. And disruption often get mistaken for negativity. But progress has always been uncomfortable. Progress has always been uncomfortable. The just be grateful argument. The just be grateful argument. Another one that comes up often is, at least we have a boxing game. That mindset is dangerous because it lowers the entire ceiling of what the genre can be. It lowers it. It lowers it on purpose. Imagine applying that logic anywhere else. At least the car runs even if the brakes barely work. At least the car runs even if the brakes barely work. At least the movie exists even if the story makes no sense. At least the movie exists even if the story makes no sense. That is not how quality works. That is not how quality works. Having something does not mean it should be above critique. Having something does not mean it should be above critique. Especially when people have paid for it, invested time into it, and supported it for long term. Passion versus convenience. Passion versus convenience. Let's be real. Passion requires effort, thinking critically, paying attention to details, comparing systems, wanting improvement. Convenience requires none of that. You can just play, accept, move on. There is nothing wrong with enjoying a game casually, but there is nothing wrong with wanting it to be better. But there is nothing wrong with wanting it to be better. The problem happens when convenience tries to silence passion. The problems happens when convenience tries to silence passion. The reality of time investment. The reality of time investment. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. What? Let me see. Is it what? Poe, I don't think a turd should be the result when we push hard against developers. Me neither. Me neither. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Me neither. Let me see. The reality of time investment. People say you're investing too much time into this, but time is exactly what builds understanding. You're investing too much time into this, but time is exactly what builds understanding. It builds understanding. The more time you spend watching real boxing, watching and actually participating in boxing. I don't care if y'all believe me or not. I got proof. I actually have videos up that I'm not going to show them because people love critiquing so they can say, hey, you did this, you did that. But I boxed. I got awards. This one thing I can say. I don't care what y'all say about me. Hey, you weren't successful in the pro ranks. You didn't really go that far in pro. I won the Golden Gloves 3 times, which is hard to do. And even some of the champions didn't win the Golden Gloves, or even 3 times. I won the Diamond Gloves 3 times. I won the state championship 3 times. So that in its own thing, I'm proud of that. But because of management, my pro career was cut short. So stop trying to downplay my contributions or knowing about boxing or participating in boxing. And like I told y'all can ask Shannon Briggs or anybody. Shannon would tell you I was his steady sparring partner. Ray Mercer, steady sparring partner. Bobby Ches, steady sparring partner. A lot of y'all don't know who Bobby Ches is. All these guys, that was their steady sparring partner. Sparred a lot of people. Jamil McCline. A lot of y'all don't know who Jamil McCline is. A lot of y'all don't know Maurice Harris. I sparred Maurice Harris. You know who Maurice Harris is? He's the famous person that y'all see get knocked out by what's his name? The Black Rhino. When he get knocked out by the Black Rhino, I forget his name, but he got knocked out by the Black Rhino. Let me see. Why strong voices matter. Every major improvement in gaming has come from people who refuse to stay quiet. Every major improvement in gaming has come from people who refuse to stay quiet. Not people who said it's fine as it is, but people who said this is not enough. I mean, this is not good enough. Those voices push developers, influence design direction, shape future titles, keep communities from being stagnant. Without those voices, nothing evolves. Everything just gets repackaged. The misunderstanding of tone. The misunderstanding of tone. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Nothing. Okay. Sometimes what people are really reacting to is not the message, but the tone. Directness can feel aggressive. Consistency can feel overwhelming. Passion can feel intense. But none of that automatically equals toxicity. If anything, it shows commitment, clarity, refusal to water things down. And in a space where things are often vague or sugar-coated, that can stand out. the bigger picture. This is not about one person or one community. This is about how niche sports games like boxing survive and grow. Because unlike bigger sports titles, boxing games do not release every year, do not always have massive budgets, rely heavily on community feedback and support. So the community matters more. But within the community, the voices pushing for depth and authenticity are critical, not optimal. Within the community, the voices pushing for depth and authenticity are critical, not optional. Final word. Calling someone toxic for caring deep is an easy shortcut. It avoids the conversation. And this is the thing, I want to have conversation. It avoids the accountability. It avoids the real issues. But it also slows down progress. At the end of the day, the question is simple. Do we want boxing games to stay where they are or become what they could be? Because the people labeled as too much are often the ones trying to get us to that second option. And whether people like it or not, that kind of passion is not something the community should be pushing away. It is something it should be using. All right, let me see. When people focus shift from message to messenger. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Nothing, okay. There is another layer to this conversation that needs to be addressed. It is not just people labeling passion as toxicity. It is that when they cannot break down your critiques, they start reaching for anything they can discredit you on. Now it becomes, you're just using AI. You don't come up with this yourself. You're doing too much. You obsess. At that point, the conversation is no longer about the game. It is about trying to weaken the person's credibility. The you use AI deflection. Let's be clear about something. Passion for boxing games did not start with AI. Detailed critiques did not start with AI. Deep thinking about mechanics, systems, and authenticity did not start with AI. That has been happening for decades, long before AI tools, social media applications, modern content platforms. People truly care about something have always written long breakdowns, studied details, compared systems across games, push for better. So when someone says you're using AI, what they are really doing is trying to dismiss the substance without engaging it. Because if they have to engage it, they will have to respond to the actual points being made, the logic behind those points, the gaps being exposed. And that is too much, and that is much harder. Nitpicking instead of engaging. Another pattern shows up. Instead of addressing core issues, people zoom in on small things. How something is worded, the tone of a post, whether a sentence sounds too polished, minor details that do not change the overall argument. This is strategic. whether intentional or not. Because if you can't shift the conversation to surface level critiques, you never have to deal with the deeper problem being raised. It becomes easier to say, I don't like how you said it, instead of answering it. If what you said actually true, is what you said actually true? Defending companies that have not earned it. This is where things get even more confusing. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat before I go on. All right. Defending companies that have not earned it. This is where things get even more confusing. You have people going out of their way to defend companies that sold a vision that does not fully match the product. Miss key mechanics that define the sport. Stay silent for long periods. Release features late or incomplete. And yet when people question that, the fans become the problem. That dynamic does not make sense. Constructive criticism is not an attack. It is part of the relationship between a product and its audience. If something blind defense without accountability does more harm than good, because it tells companies you don't have to improve. This is enough. The loyalty misplacement. The loyalty misplacement. Some people develop a kind of loyalty that is misplaced. Instead of being loyal to the sport, loyal to the quality of the game, loyal to the long-term growth of the game, they become loyal to a specific company, a specific title, a specific narrative. So when the game is criticized, it feels personal to them, and they react accordingly. But loyalty should be earned and maintained through results, not assumed. Experience cannot be replaced. Experience cannot be replaced. When someone has years of boxing experience, decades of gaming experience, time spent in communities, moderation, development spaces, a history of speaking on these topics, that does not disappear because someone says you use AI. The tools do not replace experience. They amplify communication. The foundation is still knowledge, perspective, time invested. And that is what people are really reacting to, whether they realize it or not. Why this pushback happens? At the core, this reaction usually comes from one of three places. Discomfort. The critiques hits too close to reality, so it is easier to dismiss the person. 2, attachment. People are mostly invested in the game and do not want to see it criticized. 3, fatigue. They are tired of hearing the same issues, even if those issues have not been fixed. None of those make the critiques invalid. They just explain the reaction. Stand focused on what matters. At the end of the day, none of the noise changes the core question. Does the game represent boxing authentically? Will Kinsler, does the game represent boxing authentically? Are the mechanics deep and true to the sport? Are the modes and system built for longevity? Is the community being heard in a meaningful way? Those are the conversations that matter, not who wrote that. Not who wrote what, how it was written, what tools were used. When people start nitpicking your delivery, question your methods, or trying to label your passion, it usually means one thing. They cannot comfortably deal with the message itself. And that is where your focus should stay, because this has never been about validation, approval, or fitting into what others are comfortable with. It has always been about pushing for something better. And no amount of deflection, labeling, or misplaced defense changes that. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. All right, I'm gonna throw a couple of questions in, then I'm gonna end the show. I'm gonna try to do 3. Probably try to do 3. Oh, excuse me. All right. Question 1. Are you being toxic or just passionate? There's a clear difference. Toxicity attacks people. Passion challenges ideas, systems, and outcomes. Breaking down mechanics, pointing out flaws, and pushing for improvement is not toxic. It is engagement at a higher level. Question 3. Why do people say you care too much? Because high standards make others uncomfortable. When you are deeply, you expose gaps that others may have accepted or ignored. Instead of raising their expectations, some people try to lower yours. Question 3. What about the "you're too old" criticism? That argument falls apart quickly. Experience brings context. Someone who has seen decades of boxing and sports games understand what has been done, what works, and what is missing. This is not a weakness. That is insight. I'm gonna read 4 more. All right. Are you really asking for too much from a boxing game? No. Most of what is being asked for already exists in other sports titles or has existed in the past. The expectation is not unrealistic. It's based on industry precedent and available technology. Why do people accuse you of using AI as a way to discredit you? Because it is easy deflection. Instead of engaging with the actual points, they question the source. Passion, knowledge, and detailed critique existed long before AI tools. Tools do not create substance. They help present it. Does using AI invalidate your opinion or experience? Not at all. The foundation is still personal experience, boxing knowledge, and years of involvement in the community. AI can assist with structure or clarity, but it cannot replace lived experience or understanding. This is my last one right here. Why do people nitpick how you say things instead of what you say? Because it shifts the conversation. It is easier to critique tone, wording, and delivery than to respond to deeper issues like broken mechanics or missing systems. It avoids accountability. All right, let me see. Let me see how many more I got. Yeah, I got a lot. That's a lot of questions that I got. I'm not gonna read all of them. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. If I got some more talks in the chat, I might read some more. No. So I'm thinking that y'all don't left up out of here. I'm thinking y'all don't left up out of here. All right. Salute to everybody that came through. I'm precisely. Let me see. Legendary Boxing 2026. Who else? It came up in here. Boxing_lounge. Let me see. Shout out to Don D205. You can catch him on Twitch. Don D205. He come on 12:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna stick to that. He come on. I know it's late. Pop in and pop out. Just give him, join his Twitch stream so you can catch him at some point. Don D205 on Instagram. No, Don D205 TV on Instagram. Don D205 on Twitter. Go support him. Support Boxing Lounge _ support Leafy Be Boxing. Support I'm Precisely. Shout out to the Wishlist Mafia. Shout out to Papanosis. Shout out to Mac Mix. Yo, man, you gotta come on the show one day, man. You the OG of content created. You gotta come on, man. Your passion is second to none. Let me see. Who else I'm gonna give a shout out? Shout out to Remy. Shout out to Ichiro. Shout out to who else I'm gonna give a shout out to? Shout out to S.V. He hot. Shout out to all of y'all out there, man. And shout out to J MMA. Come on, Jay, man. Hook a brother out, man. Your support. You and Pride, man. I'm trying to get both of y'all. Shout out to Proxys. Trying to get all of y'all to support, man. Get your people, man. Get your fan base. Hey, we never know what can happen. Tell them to fill out the survey and the petition. Let's see what can happen. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's see what we can do for the community. Come on, y'all. Let's get this going. All right. Until the next show. Oh, shout out to AJ Pax, man. Shout out to Beast, too. Peace. I know I forgot. Oh, Blaster X. Shout out to Blaster X. No, I forgot the name. But shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate all of y'all.